The final story in this series of my drug-fueled party boy model days is not going to finish this tour without coming to Metropolis. I have too many stories to tell about this place. I'm going to give you my top three. I'm coming in third place is the time I lost my keys at Metropolis, which would be fine normally if you lose your keys at a bar, except the entire top floor is sand. The whole floor is sand. They had to break out a metal detector in order to find my keys because it was the only way I could get back into my apartment. And the replacement keys were like $600. Coming in at number two was one of the last nights I spent in London at this place. I decided, you know what, tonight is going to be the night. I crush up 2 pills of ecstasy and snort them and see what happens. And what happened was I ended up having a threesome with my ex-boyfriend, who I was still moderately in love with, and his ex-boyfriend. And that sucks. And it sucked even more when I woke up the next morning and I was on the couch and they were cuddling in my bed. And coming in at number one would be the time that I came to a party at Metropolis. And before the party, I had ingested some very questionable Molly, okay? My stomach doesn't handle Molly very well. It doesn't digest it great. And so when we were there, I ran into this guy I thought was super cute. We started making out. We were dancing on the dance floor. My stomach wasn't feeling great. It was not feeling good. We ended up coming outside for a cigarette where he confided in me that he was trans. And he wanted to make sure that I knew that before anything progressed. What he was so blithely unaware of was the fact that I had already known he was trans because I had stalked him on Instagram previously where he was very outspoken about it, and I didn't give a fuck. That's why I was making out with him in the club. I just thought he was really hot. But before I could say any of this, I turned around and I threw up all over his feet. That is correct. Mere moments after this guy I had been making out with the whole night nervously confided in me that he was trans. He was very scared how I was going to react. I threw up at his feet. Right there. Do you know how hard that was to explain? Because on top of having to profusely apologize and explain to him that I did not throw up because he was trans, I also had to explain to him that despite pretending I had no idea who he was the entire night, I fully did. So, anyway, that is my messy haunted tour of East London. I hope you enjoyed it. You like that? You feel like you were struggling with substance abuse or you want to be a model, reach out and ask someone for help.